I'm Emma, and welcome to TikTok Tuesday. Each week, we look at online trends and challenges and ask the experts if it's worth the hype. This week, we're looking at DIY teeth straightening. TikTokers are putting elastic bands around their teeth to close the gap, and buying cheap retainers online, all in pursuit of that perfectly straight smile.
Homemade Invisalign. Invisalign's pretty expensive. I like doing stuff on my own, so I figured it out.
I put rubber bands on my teeth to close my gaps.
So I'm not trying this one out for obvious reasons. Putting elastic bands around my teeth just doesn't seem like a great way to spend a Tuesday. Instead, we'll be speaking to the registered dental assistant and dental hygiene student who tipped me off to this story, Jeremy.
Jeremy, thank you so much for agreeing to speak to me today. Dental stuff seems to be really, really interesting to our readers, and we're seeing a lot of content as well online.
Awesome.
Do you have any concept of to why people are so into DIY dentistry? Like, do you have any idea of why that might be?
Don't know the exact reasons, but definitely here in the US, we have more of an emphasis on like aesthetics and stuff. And so a lot of times when you're smiling, the first thing people see is your teeth, obviously. And so people definitely want teeth that are nice and straight, that are bright. You don't typically like teeth that are very crooked and yellow and dark and have lots of issues. So for the most part, I think here in the West, we put more of an emphasis on how you appear. And so lots of people understand that dentistry can be expensive sometimes. And so if you're able to do it at home, then that could be something to look into.
So we're looking at home teeth straightening. And it sounds great. It sounds like a dream come true, but you're saying that it's something that people really should stay away from. Why is that?
100%. So there are countless factors I could go into. The short answer is there's a lot of things that you don't know about teeth until you start to study and learn them. And a lot of the times you won't get that knowledge until you go to school, until you talk to a dentist. And if you try and do things yourself, you can cause permanent damage that will last with you for a lifetime. So we definitely want to avoid that. A lot of the times if you try to straighten your own teeth, they can end up falling out. And so instead of having teeth that look nice and straight, you'll end up with gaps in your teeth, which you don't want.
I didn't realize that was something that could happen just from straightening your teeth.
Yes. So a lot of the times the teeth are not fused to your actual jawbone. They're basically supported by these little fibers. You could look up like the periodontal ligament that basically helps to suspend the teeth in place. And if you move the teeth too quickly, those can actually cause the teeth to prematurely fall out because there's too much force on the tooth. So that's why orthodontics is a very long procedure. It can take multiple years sometimes. And so it has to be done very slowly. That way the teeth aren't just pulled out too quickly.
Wow. Yeah, as someone who had a retainer and then braces for 4 years, I know the slow and steady very well. So when you go to a dental hygienist or a dentist or an orthodontist and you want to get those teeth straightened, what are the things that they're going to be looking at to make sure this is done safely?
Good question. So first thing you typically will want is an x-ray. And so that's one of the issues with at-home straightening is you can't really take an x-ray on yourself. You don't have the knowledge or the equipment to do that. That's not your fault. That's why you go to the dentist. Typically, they'll take an x-ray of your teeth because it'll show what the teeth look like underneath your gum line. And you may not even realize, but sometimes your teeth can be pretty short. And without that x-ray, you won't actually know what that looks like. And again, with the teeth falling out, if your teeth are too short and you start to move them too quickly, that's when teeth can start to fall out, which we don't want.
Oh, gosh, yeah. And what about Invisalign? Because this is something like it's not braces. It's something that you take home, correct?
Yes, so Invisalign is great. A lot of times people love it for the aesthetics, just a clear tray that goes over your teeth. And so the way Invisalign works is instead of having those big wires and brackets that are all over your teeth, they don't look very good. What we do instead is we put little attachments on your teeth, and then the trays actually sit into those attachments, and those serve as the brackets essentially. And so with the Invisalign trays, you don't typically wear the same tray for the whole process. We'll give you a whole series of trays, might be, let's say, like 30 trays. And so every week, you're basically switching to a new tray. It's slowly moving the teeth. And every couple of trays or so, you'll come back to the dentist. We'll make sure everything's looking good, do any adjustments as necessary, and then go from there.
Interesting. And that's key as well, right? The going back to the dentist in between sessions
Absolutely.
to make sure that things are moving the way they want to move.
Yes, yeah. Again, that's another reason why DIY dentistry at home can be difficult, because you may not know if something's not going correct. And so if you were to just give a patient all 30 trays and say, hey, good luck, go ahead, then if it doesn't start working around tray 10, 20, and then the final trays aren't fitting well, that again can cause more damage, move the teeth into places that we don't want, cause you more pain because the trays aren't fitting. So that's why we have you come back to the dentist every couple of weeks or so to make sure the trays are working like we want them to.
Absolutely. And so when you see people who are 3D printing their own trays based off of models that they're finding on the internet and things like that, what goes through your head when you see that?
I'm like, man, there are so many issues with that. As long as you are working with a dentist, you could totally do it on yourself, because you have someone there that can know where to put the attachments, know how to do any adjustments. It's great if you want to try that on yourself. I think that's very genius and creative way to save a little bit of money. But if you're trying to sell that to other people by saying, hey, just get these trays, try them yourself, that can be more of an issue.
Absolutely. And so if someone's tried this, like, there's so much on TikTok and some of it is so persuasive that you really think like this can actually work for me and save me a couple $1,000s. If someone started down this path, what would your recommendation be?
I'd recommend thinking about kind of the reasoning behind why you want to do all this in the first place. So a lot of the times we don't just straighten teeth so that they look nice. That's kind of a side effect, and that's what people tend to hyper focus on. Oh, my teeth look nice and straight. But a lot of the times we straighten teeth because maybe your teeth overlap too much. You have like an overbite, or you don't bite down correctly. Maybe your lower teeth are over top of your upper teeth, called an underbite. Sometimes when you bite down, your teeth aren't touching correctly in the front. That could be a cross bite. So there's lots of different reasonings functionally why we would do orthodontics. And a lot of times people just tend to focus more on, oh, my teeth look nice and straight, and that's why I want to do it.
Interesting. That's something very similar to what I heard when we were looking at teeth whitening, right? Because those perfect pearly white teeth aren't necessarily a sign of health. Like there could be a lot of damage there.
Correct. Yep.
Interesting. And so talking about, the aesthetics versus keeping teeth healthy, what are some things, because there's a lot of economic turmoil going on right now. People might not have the money to go to a dentist. What are some things people can do at home to make sure they keep their smiles healthy?
Great question. Well, as a dental hygiene student, I can definitely chime in on this. Here at our clinic, we offer free cleanings, free exams, all that good stuff. We won't do like severe cases. So if you're in a lot of pain, you definitely have to go to a dentist or go to an emergency room if you're in immediate pain. But if you're at home and you don't really have insurance, or you don't have the money to go see a dentist, it may cost you a little bit of money, you can go to like a health clinic or go to a school. Most of the times they can do free cleanings for you or very reduced rates. And so as a student, I'm definitely working with patients like that all the time. Just definitely look out if you have like a dental hygiene school or a dental school in your area. Go to them, say, hey, are you accepting patients? And maybe you can get in and get your free cleaning.
Interesting. And those are looked after by a registered hygienist, correct?
Correct. Yeah, we'll usually have registered hygienists on staff. A lot of our actual teachers and professors are hygienists as well. So it's not just like a random teacher. They definitely have practiced what they are preaching for many, many years. And so they'll be looking over our shoulders, making sure we're doing everything correct.
Fantastic. And that program is also in Canada as well. It happens at many dental schools across Canada, which is fantastic. Well, again, thank you so much, Jeremy, for taking time out of your day to speak to me. I really appreciate it.
If you're looking to learn more about this and other health stories, check us out at healthing.ca.